Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. We in the all right, Nate, Corey, let's get into it. We got so much shit to talk about this week. Woo! Man, we had a wild week. I'm talking crypto landscape. We shot all the way up and we fell all the way back down, all because of a man who tweeted it out. And then he said, by the way, I do like the Ethereum and Bitcoin. I'm not quoting him, but it's something along those lines. Five assets or not assets, cryptocurrencies were identified by the president: Solana, Cardano, uh, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and
XRP.
XRP. How did I forget?
XRP.
They were all
Wonderful.
mentioned in on his True Social tweet on Sunday. Prices. I was walking around the store. I'm getting all these notifications blasting off like what is happening in the world right now, and I find this tweet and everything's skyrocketing up, going up double digits. I'm like, okay, here we go, here we go. Calm the fuck down. We came back down to earth over the next 2 3 days. It's fine. It's fine. We know how this shit goes. We go up 30%, we drop 40. It's the ebb and flow of the game. So, what do you guys make of it? How are you feeling? What were your thoughts? Did you think this was going to kind of be the I mean, he also says it's going to be one of the greatest alt seasons, or I'm going to kick off alt season. What do you guys think about this? Did you feel like it was just going to be a short-term thing? Did you think that this is going to be kind of the push that we needed to get this thing back on track since February was on a lower trend?
I didn't think we were going to go ultimate top or anything like that. It's just a tweet. You got to remember the legislative backing to all that still hasn't made it through Congress, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, it's exciting to see the pump, but at the same time, you're talking about when we dip, it don't really mean anything to me. You just got, like we talked about last week, take advantage of the situation. Man, I've been buying shit left, right, center, Bitcoin, Ondo, H bar, heavy, just
I
going
can't keep
crazy.
up with Nate. He messages me daily, multiple times. Just bought more Ondo. Just bought more H bar. I can't even keep up. I'm out here taking a second mortgage out trying to keep up with
Oh,
him.
jeez.
And it's all that Apple dividend money.
You
He,
got to
he,
make your
he,
money work for you, man.
Went down to the plasma
Facts.
clinic.
I've been trading in everything,
Traded his kidney in.
getting it in. But no, again, like we continue to talk about and will continue to talk about. This is all steps into a phase of crypto adoption that's going to surpass anybody's want to start purchasing. So you need to, A, if you're not already, begin, and then B, if you are, cost average. Plenty of times I bought in, not just that, I've been hitting V chain too, different cryptocurrencies.
Dana White gave him a little shout out.
Oh yeah, a little
They're
shout
part of
out.
his other they were
Slap,
already partnered with the UFC.
Slap.
Now they're part of Slap. So
power slap competition. So yeah, I mean Dana's pretty bullish. It seems at least his companies
mhm.
are. You got the big endorsement from crypto.com with the UFC, and then you have the endorsement from B Chain and the power slap competition. So we'll get into more of that later, but that's kind of sidebar.
For sure. Sure. Corey,
I
did you think it was gonna last?
no, I don't think it was gonna last. I was slightly annoyed because I don't know, I could just see the suppression, but like you said, you got to take advantage of it. But I feel like we should be moving up. We're already starting to fall behind schedule, so to speak, but that just means when it does move, it's going to move hard, which I think there is a really good realistic chance of either tomorrow or Friday. We're going to see a nice move because of this whole summit thing. I feel like the tweet on Sunday was basically telling you basically what they're going to already announce
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow, or not tomorrow, on Friday, that they're going to do the reserve, what's going to be in there. There might be some other coins that might not have been mentioned, but I think it's just going to get things excited. It's on Friday, so traditional markets are going to be there, so they can get in too. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just tired of the manipulation. I mean,
Spoiler alert, they're having a meeting. Corey let the cat out of the bag really early here.
we can go back
No.
to it. We ain't got.
No, it's good. It's
Always tries
good.
to
We'll roll
expose
right
us.
into it. Yeah. Uh they're doing a Bitcoin summit, or not really a crypto
It's a
summit
crypto
at,
summit.
at the White House. They got a lot of the major players showing up. Um Michael Saylor's going to be a keynote speaker at that. Lutnick's going to be there. I mean, there's going to be a slew of people there.
Brad
So
Garlinghouse, the owner of
Garland
Tether,
House,
Arc,
Armstrong,
Ondo, Ethereum, Solana,
Coinbase guy,
Cardano,
yep,
SEC.
Hawkinson.
Hawkinson's not going to be there.
He okay. I
I
just saw a
just
list not long ago. Said he was going to be there.
I'm looking at on Coin Market Cap. We can go to their news. It says
Oh,
shocking exclusion. Cardano Hopkins snubbed from the White House crypto summit. In a rather shocking turn of events, Carl Hopkins, co-founder of Cardano, finds himself excluded from the upcoming White House summit. Not good. I wonder why. I don't
That's
know.
interesting.
I'd have to read more into it. It's just looking at the headline here.
Okay. Well, this is developing as we speak, so we'll keep you up to date if we find out any more on that.
I guess a little upsetting if you're a Cardano maxi.
But I am. It is upsetting. What the? How you gonna mention the coin? It's gonna be in the reserve, but you ain't gonna invite the founder.
I feel like there's
Well,
probably something that we're not seeing here
yeah, I
because
mean,
they've been pretty friendly.
I saw a graphic earlier that had, it had like Coinbase, or I guess the software. So you're like Coinbase, crypto.com, had that. And you had the projects, you had the White House staff, and who was confirmed and not confirmed. And Hawkinson was definitely on the list, and he was confirmed. And that was from like White House X account.
Put it
So
in
oh,
previous.
this is interesting. This is interesting.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, I mean, we'll keep it moving here, but a lot of other stuff has been popping. I mean, we got the Kraken case was dismissed. Wow, wow.
A lot of
Uh,
dismissals.
so many dismissals. It truly feels like this Ripple thing is just getting drug and drug and drug, and it's uh, maybe there's got to be something else to it, in the sense of it's getting drugged because it's the grand finale. Like, that's the one that everybody's waiting for. When they announce it, it's gonna fucking melt faces, I guess. I don't know what the intent is behind it. Remains to be seen, but imagine it'll show up here soon. Um, what else do we have? Do you guys know how much money was pumped in on Sunday in 4 hours?
In 4 hours? No, I don't.
The capability of the retail is still alive. 330 billion in 4 hours. We moved it. Needle moved.
More than moved it. We launched it. We sent it. Full send.
We did. And Corey can explain better than me, but it created another gap.
Yeah, so the CME gap, we went over that last week, how we had a gap at 70, like 77 to 78. We crashed down to that point. We filled it. And the reason why there's these gaps is because the traditional stock markets, they closed over the weekend. So their chart literally has gaps in it. And whenever you see that, they have a 94% chance of filling almost every time. So, and one of the guys that I watch, he was actually calling this out when we were around 100. He's like, there's a CME gap down at 70, 78,000. We could go down there. everybody didn't want to hear that when you're at 100. So, but sure enough, 2 months later, we went and touched it. But through all the volatility of moving like that, once we closed it, we pumped so hard on Sunday, they're still closed. We went up to what, 80 or 95,000. And then Monday morning, we round tripped it. Pack your bags. We're going back to 85 because we created that new gap, which I'm would rather take it filling the next day than keep going, and then next month we got to come back down to that range. So
Hmm.
it was bittersweet, but um, I think again, like your point, it just proves that you know when retail really gets in, we can move the price more in a sense than they do. And that's not because we have more money, but because we're buying straight from the exchange in the order books, whereas they're doing OTC, ETF buys, and all that stuff. So that doesn't directly impact the market right away.
So
So
on a
they tell you
deeper
that it
level,
doesn't. Go ahead.
go ahead. No, 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 go ahead. I
I
thought you
say
were
they
done.
tell you that they do that to help protect you from volatility. I call BS on that because if billions and billions are pouring in, I want to reap the benefit of that. We probably would be at 200,000 by now if they were buying on the exchange. But again, they want to keep it cheap so they can keep buying. We want it cheap so we can keep buying, but at the same time, we would like to see some fruits to our labor and it blossom into some beautiful
Hmm.
gains. So, but go ahead.
I
What
had
was
to,
your point?
no, no, I had to, no, it's not a point, it's a thought. Um, all this has got to be by intention, right? Was this kind of just a, do you think? Because nobody really knows, but it feels like, he knows what he's doing on the business sense. Was it kind of a test, like a test of the system to see like, oh, temperature of the water? Let's see where everybody's at if retail is still here. Okay, retail is still here. We're gonna do these things, boom, 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 and then finally when it happens, I don't know. I'm trying to think like maybe I'm playing checkers, I guess. I'm not an
Well,
economist. I don't know. It feels why put that out there like that?
I mean, I can see your point, like to test us, but I can tell you right now, crypto people have not left. They're not leaving. Like they have the people that have been in the industry. So all those billions that are getting bought, you got to think. I bet you most of those buys aren't new people. Those are people that have been in the space. Those are people that probably had Bitcoin since 2017 or before. The whales, the retail whales, the guy that is already uh worth a couple hundred million. He probably put some more in it. So I think you have that kind of going on. I don't know. I don't know. Again, it's all theater to me.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, take a swig of water, get that frog out of your throat. We got SEC dropped a case against Consensus as well. I mean, they're dropping cases left and right. It's like the crescendo has got to be Ripple, right? I don't. That's just kind of what I think. I think and that's kind of going to be. It's more than just a. All right, we dropped the case. It's that has solidified that the SEC has to put some framework out, which is why I think they haven't dropped it yet. They want to have something to kind of follow that rather quickly. Moving along. Uh, so we mentioned that the Coinbase case was dropped, but it was dropped with prejudice, so it ends the case permanently. It never be brought back up, which is great. The Meme Coin Act was introduced. It's a bill that'll would ban public officials from issuing or endorsing. So essentially, what he did on Sunday with that tweet or his post on Truth would become illegal according to this meme coin act. We talked about it, I think Sunday. We talked about it before the show. It would have to, I think, for that to go through, they also have to look at the other side of the aisle at stocks and go, okay, well, that's you're calling that insider trading. You gotta do something about the insider trading going on in Congress too.
Yeah, 100%. What else can they do? How can you call one? I mean, you can't call one an influence in the market and then have people sitting in Congress who are influencing the market, be it energy stocks, be it pharmaceuticals, be it whatever, because they have the legislative power to manipulate these bills or the vote or however it needs to get done for something to be passed in order for a third party entity to get a better deal in that exchange. There's no difference, in my opinion, whether you're that person or you're Javier Milei or Hawk to a girl or the 13-year-old kid that we talk about or any of these people.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. It seems, in the words of the president, it seems very common sense. If you're gonna do that, you need to introduce the other one because one wrong doesn't make another right. I don't know.
Two
It's a
wrongs
weird
don't
one.
make a
It's
right.
and it's
Well, I mean, like,
speculative if that's wrong. Like, is that wrong? I created a product to make the most amount of money. You all bought into it. I got rid of the product.
yeah, I mean, I'm not arguing if it's right or wrong. I was trying to use a adage there that didn't really flow that well,
I
so
I like
we
the
can edit
Wild
that
West
out.
aspect of crypto. I don't like the idea of regulation. I hear your point about, it might be beneficial for other cryptos if they can regulate, but it's you give them an inch, they take a mile. So once they come in there and they start regulating meme coins, they're gonna start regulating everything. And then next thing you know, you're gonna have something just like the stock market where, you can't be a day trader unless you have $20,000 in your account, or otherwise you're gonna get hit with the day trading pattern trading or whatever they call it. So uh, they're just gonna add these guardrails on it, which again takes away from it. Like, you don't want to go bowling with the freaking baby rails up. You want to be able to, if you sling that thing, listen, this is life. Okay, quit padding everything and making it such fucking for pussies. Like, just learn what you need to learn and then go into it and accept the fact that you might get whooped up a couple times before you get a couple wins. You're gonna throw a couple gutter balls. Don't put the guardrails on. Quit being soft. So that's just kind of how I see about
Figure it
it.
out.
Same thing with, again, that's a whole nother rabbit hole, but figure it out. You got burned. Maybe you should stop playing with meme coins and go buy something of quality. That's all that is. So I don't want to go down there. I'll get fired up.
Yeah, fire it up. Let them know. Hey, we've been dealing with it for too long now with this gentle state. If we get taken down, we get taken down. It is what it is. It was a
Fair
good
enough.
run, boys.
Taken down for what?
For
Corey
calling them
snapping off.
pussies.
They don't care about that word.
Uh,
It's
Oh, well,
the. I'm just kidding.
he was kind of he said he doesn't want to get fired up. So I was like, fire it up, let's go. Let's
yeah. Because, I mean, again, I don't know. It's just, I don't, if you are dumb enough, we have enough examples before any of the Hawk Tuah stuff happened. Going to 21, again, Kim Kardashian did the same thing. Dropped the meme coin, pumped it up, rug pulled everybody. She got a fine from the SEC, which was probably a third of the money that she actually made on the whole project, and she gets to walk away. if you again don't do your research and you're getting into whoever's coin it is, even Donald Trump's coin. Well, I don't care whose coin it is. Like that's the game that you're playing. That's the risk that you're running. If you don't want to be so risky, you don't want to lose your house and whatever, go buy Bitcoin. Nobody's running Bitcoin. Now they can try to manipulate it and they can make the price swing 10, $20,000. That's just how they this is the all markets are manipulated no matter what. I don't care what anybody tells you. They're all manipulated because it's all about supply and demand, and they have these lanes that they can use to funnel money in where it doesn't reflect
They're
on our
not
side.
manipulated. No.
So, I mean, that shit don't that the whole world's manipulated in a sense.
How much money do
in
you
the
think? Go ahead, Nate.
I was gonna say in the sense that basically everything you see is designed for you to see it that way.
Exactly.
Same thing with
This
all this
place too.
politics, all of it.
I was gonna ask you guys, how much money you think is gonna be in the cryptocurrency space by the end of 2025?
You can go back to episode 4, and I'll quote myself here. 15 to what I say, 15 to 19 trillion,
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
You agree with that still, Corey?
Yeah, I agree with it. We can move it up
That
a
was
little bit,
my
maybe like
assessment.
20 trillion.
I think
Like that.
I was at like I was lowballing. I think I was like 8 to 10.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull the clip because y'all looked at me like, well, I was crazy. I was last to go. I'll
Nah,
I
pull it.
nah,
mean,
we didn't look at you crazy.
He looked at me
I
for
hope it
this one.
goes. I hope it goes there. I really do. I mean, we hit 3 trillion, and everything's kind of going up. I mean, we're kind of towing that line right now, which again, everything's going up.
I think the market cap is kind of is where you really see some funny business because we've been kind of chilling at a 3 trillion market cap for
Mhm.
a while.
Right. And
Like
then when we had that money flood in on Sunday, that market cap, it didn't hardly move. I think we were at like 2.8 trillion and we
yeah.
didn't hardly move. So I agree. There's something funny going on with that, but there's something funny going on with everything. I mean, like I said, everything's manipulated. Everything is being touched by some sticky fingers.
Yeah, if somebody tells you otherwise, they're manipulating, right? The minute they say it's not, they're manipulating.
News that I don't I guess I'm pretty excited about because I know a lot of people who don't necessarily know the space that well. They're usually in Robinhood. If it's like the beginner, not calling people dummy, but it's like stocks for dummies and cryptos for dummies. Like it's a very usable
User friendly.
interface.
It's user
Yeah,
friendly.
yeah. Vlad Tenov, the or Tenev, I don't know how you say his last name, but doesn't matter. Uh, he was saying that they're going to start adding quite a bit more cryptocurrencies throughout the year here. They're going to create a Robinhood wallet. I love this news because it just means, again, adoption. More people are going to get exposed to it. They're going to be more accepting of it. I mean, it could, you know, when you look at it, again, if you look at a Bitcoin, you go, oh my God, it's $91,000. I can't afford that. And you go in on Robinhood and you're looking at it and all that green shit, and you're like, I don't even know how to buy this thing. What are they talking about? I need $91,000. But hopefully, Robinhood does a good job of kind of explaining those things and having those little tutorials that they always have. Again, I like it. He also mentioned the exploration of tokenization on real world assets. So that's like direct right there. I mean, granted, crypto.com has it as well, but I feel like they're the numbers are probably much higher of users on Robinhood. What do
That's
you
a
guys
good
think?
stat we should look up. I would
I
like to know
got you.
that. Because I feel like Robinhood is the American entry to whether you're buying stocks or crypto. Just like you said, it's easy to use. People are comfortable using it. It doesn't have all these different, like it's very simple and clean cut. It's like the Apple, I guess you could say, of stock exchanges. But I do like the fact that they're adding a wallet. That's kind of nice. If they're adding wallet, they're basically going to kind of have their own way to access the DeFi,
Hmm.
if they have their own wallet. So you'll probably they might even launch their own token now because of this. Kind of like with crypto.com, how you can have the Crow chain, you're transacting on there in Crow. So they might have a hood a hood coin and you
Didn't they
use that
make
to
one?
transact.
Somebody made a meme coin.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there already is a meme out there, but I want to see their official drop. And again,
Well, it's
even if
official. I was wrong. Crypto.com has 100 million users worldwide.
I was gonna say it was like the number one app on Apple for weeks and weeks.
and how
Yep.
many users does Robinhood have?
And Robinhood has 11 million monthly active users,
And eggs.
24.3 million funded customers.
Yeah. Well, you got to think though, they're global. Robinhood's probably they're not using Robinhood probably
Right.
these over in Southeast Asia and stuff like that.
I mean, it specifically on crypto.com says worldwide. So whereas Robinhood doesn't state that, they don't state a
Mhm.
geographic location.
But regardless, I think it's just gonna make it more familiarized for people when they're using. If they
Hmm.
buy their crypto on Robinhood and they learn how to move it from there to their DeFi wallet, now it'll open them up to be like, well, let me go over explore on this chain. Now you're doing cross chain stuff.
Hmm.
That's I think where the learning is because a lot of people that's where they do learn is Robinhood. So bullish on that. I'm not a big Robinhood advocate because they've done things in the past, but I feel like they're really trying to make up for the whole like uh Wall Street bets situation.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, no, I think it's a good thing overall. Again, more adoption, education, bring in the retail, bring them. Where are you guys at? Come on. We
Well,
don't.
I brought that up because it segues into one of Nate's top coins from last week, which is Ondo, and he was saying that Ondo was probably gonna, well, not probably, Ondo is gonna get added to Robinhood.
Yeah.
Ondo has been doing Ondo things. I think Ondo is up. Where are we at today?
The apple of my eye.
I've received more I bought Ondo again texts this week than I ever have in my life. 115. And if you caught it on the low end, it was at like 83, 82 cents. So congratulations to you. You're already up and you're already profitable.
The all three of those coins kind of move in tandem together. Like that's kind of how I know they're in a close
All
like
three coins
partnership.
of what?
H bar, Ondo, XRP. Like even you go on CoinMarketCap, you could pull up the last 7 days and look at the top gainers. They're all right there. So you're 6, 5, and 4. XRP, Ondo, H bar. And then number one is Mr. ADA, Charles Hoskins himself.
Da-da-da-da-dow.
But
Okay.
that's because people been sleeping on Cardano for years. They think it's a boring chain, it's not doing nothing. But then Trump comes out and says it's going in the reserve and everybody FOMO's in. So that's why I'm excited for Friday. Because I'm
Again,
sure there will be some other coins on there. Ondo will probably get announced too, and H bar. All right,
100%.
I have one of my own questions for you because I've been seeing this go around on the interwebs a lot. I kind of already can feel y'all's answers to this, but I'm gonna ask anyways. Do
No.
you do you think that it's a bad idea for them to have altcoins in the reserve, or should it just be strictly BTC?
I'll let Nate answer first. I talk too much.
It is what it is. I think they should have two different reserves, or my suggestion would be to put the altcoins in the sovereign wealth fund, or anything along those lines. But from my perspective, I look at Bitcoin. If you're talking monetarily, I look at these things differently than just they're all the same cryptos, because we understand how they work. So I don't, you know, I, Bitcoin's not like a transactable asset that I would have in my portfolio. It's a long term asset. I'm not looking to dump it in a short time frame or a longer time frame. I'm looking 5, 10 years, or even longer than that, like just savings account. That's where I look at it from my personal perspective right now. But the rest of them, I see those as transactable assets. Maybe we need to move them, because I don't know how closely anybody's going to watch it. But if you can catch something like that where you can profit out, DCA out a little bit and then buy back in, I think that would be a positive in that regard. So to answer your question, I think they should have two different separate reserves. Even if they don't want to put it in the sovereign wealth fund, just have an altcoin reserve, because it's just all about having assets that are going to appreciate, so they can do something, whether that's knock down the deficit, or to work on something else as far as infrastructure or AR, or however they want to reinvest that money back into the program.
I I agree. There should be two different ones. There should be a what are they calling it? The strategic reserve and then the sovereign wealth. However, I don't think that the sovereign wealth is going to be I mean, it's all the same shit Nate said. The gold, it's digital gold. It's just, it's the same as gold. It's the same as crude oil, medical equipment that we have in the reserves. It's just another reserve asset to have on hand in case a oh shit moment comes up. I kind of juggle with the altcoin one because I, I just don't see a full like it's going to appreciate. We know they're going to appreciate, but it's not going to appreciate how Bitcoin's appreciating. It's the OG. It's was designed in a way for it to do that versus these altcoins are typically projects and they need to be applied. So,
But what happens when they are applied and they do unlock? Let's just take your RWAs, for example, and then you're looking at 100 trillion just unlocked between 6 potential targets. What happens?
I mean, but the problem is who's like you said, who is kind of got a pulse on that who well it doesn't really matter, but
David Ludwig.
right.
Do you think they're gonna
But
inject
they're
that
I don't
hundred
think they're
trillion dollars all at once? Because I don't see them doing that. It's
No,
gonna
I'm just
be
saying
spread out
ultimately.
well
buys.
no, yeah, I mean I think he's saying like, the project comes to fruition and then that 100 trillion unlocks and they're already holding these altcoins and they're like, "Oh shit, well now we got, you know, 200 trillion in altcoins and we paid 50,000 for it." Well, I'm just being like totally throwing numbers out. I see it in that sense, but I don't know. I don't it's such a tough thing because if I wake up tomorrow, I could think of two different points that would argue against it, and I don't know. I'm kind of back and forth on it right now.
Okay, well
Fair
then
enough.
I guess I would counter with this. Why are you holding the different currencies then?
Diversification
So why would they not do the same?
because it's the government.
Same thing with the sovereign wealth fund. It would be ridiculous if they said, okay, well here's the 5 companies we're going to buy. Why? What if another company comes along that does it better?
My personal opinion on the fact and
The
why
basket,
it,
rebalance it.
they probably should do like what you guys are saying, have two different like take Bitcoin out, have it its own thing, and then put a basket of altcoins. But my thing is historically, altcoins in the bear market. get decimated. You know what I'm saying? Bitcoin, that's why I said Bitcoin has kind of already stood, like it has its track record, you know, that bit like Michael Saylor says, if nobody has ever lost money if they've held Bitcoin for more than 4 years, that you can't say the same for any altcoins, like especially the ones that have been around. Cardano, there's certain points for years. It didn't even, it barely broke its all-time high last go around. XRP was suppressed for 5 years. Now, I know the atmosphere and the things or environment is changing for it to come into fruition, like what you're saying. But what I would say is you take all your gains, if somebody is tracking it, all your gains in your altcoin, and you roll it back into the Bitcoin reserve. You take your profits and roll them into Bitcoin. And then when the market does come down, then you can reallocate back into your alts. But I don't know if anybody's going to be like sitting there watching and like, oh, we're hitting all-time high, let's take some profits on this. I don't think they're going to be doing that. They're going to do it just like how the Bitcoin reserve is. We're going to buy X amount for the next 10 years and we're not going to sell any for 20 years.
I can hear it already. I mean, you could turn on any broadcast right now. These folks still have no idea. These pundits on TV who talk about it all day still have no idea what the hell they're talking about. And they try to speak to this market and their audience, and they're putting out the wrong information. I can hear it now. These morons are going to get on here when the alts crash and say, rabble, rabble, rabble. This is why we told them not to buy it. It's going to, like, bitch, we already know how this performs. Open your fucking eyes. Everybody sees what's going on. We know that altcoins go up and they crash really hard.
Mm.
I can hear it now. So prepare yourself, get ready, get in the trenches when that time comes. We got to get some movement though. We got to get alt season going where we can even talk about
Yeah,
it.
all
We got to
season
get
needs
some
to hurry up.
legislation passed where we can even get to that point. But hypothetical.
I'm ready to 100x my portfolio. This thing needs to hurry up. But it's not that, I mean, 100x is kind of crazy, but
It's not crazy, crazy. It's just
it's not, but in crypto, it's kind of not crazy. It's like, that can legitimately happen. 1000x, like that, you're getting a little on the fringes. 10x is like minimum, like here. But that's why I said I like they're just dragging their feet. Think about it. Like
What popped my cherry?
the last the last go around, we were we were about to make an all-time high around this time. So March we were booming. February we were booming. March, that's why I'm like, man, why? I asked myself, I'm like, why is it more bullish now than ever? Fundamentals are stronger now than ever, but we just seem to be like putting along. We get our little pops here and there, and then we get kicked down again. Like
It's
that's why
it's all by design.
I know it, but it's
New president. I'm telling you, I know we talked about it before, but these tariffs scare the hell out of people. All the CEOs that got their little buttholes clenched up, they're freaking out.
I mean,
Uh,
short term it's not gonna be good. Long term it will probably work out, but the short
for
term
sure.
to midterm it's gonna be a little rough, but
But all these things play a massive role in like what's happening, and with all the mass layoffs, it's freaking people out. There's like a lot of uncertainty right now, and I think that's really what is like causing like this. But again, we see that at any moment we could turn it on.
yeah.
We just need that like little that Flintstone to kick
Well,
off the right spark on some hey.
quit sitting around waiting on somebody to come save you. That's all I gotta say. Like, I feel like that's people are just waiting for somebody to give them the green light to say, okay, go ahead. Now's the time. It's a great time to buy. They need somebody on NBC to come on Squawk Box and be like, yeah, great time. Other than Michael Saylor, they need people that they know, people that are familiar faces is saying it. Like, I don't know. Everybody goes out and buys Bitcoin tomorrow on an exchange, we're gonna see a $10,000 candle.
It's framework, or maybe maybe it is the treasury bonds. Maybe that's the thing that's we're by design pushing it, making a lot of uncertainty to bring the treasury bonds back up to where people are putting moving it from stocks in the treasury bonds, getting that secure money, more secure money, and investing back into America, and then that's going to be but I think it's legislation. Like once we find out what's all right, here's what it is for altcoins. Here's what it is for meme coin. Well, meme coin got announced that it's a collectible essentially. Here's what it is for meme coin. Here's what Bitcoin legislation is. Go have fun, kids. And then I think that's granted. I mean, this is just America. The rest of the world's doing their thing and they're figuring it out. So hopefully we'll find something out here soon. They talked about at the meeting. It was one of the things that was going to be announced is the tax free on crypto if you hold it for over a year on like 25 different assets, I believe it is, or 20. It's 20 different assets, USA made.
USA made. I don't know. It's just the traditional market is being crushed too. Like you said, tariffs got everybody freaked out. I That makes sense. Like, okay, people are scared prices are going to go up and companies
Yep.
what they have to worry about. But when they're trying to say that the Bitcoin's crashing because of tariffs, that don't make sense to me.
It's
Tariffs have
uncertain
not
money.
Bitcoin has nothing to do with tariffs. And I guarantee you the people that have been holding crypto for years, they're not selling because Trump come out and make a tariff on Canada and damn China and Mexico. They don't give a damn about that. They're buying more. So I'm saying like what is really like
I we won't know until we know.
we won't know. Now we won't know. We won't
And
care
maybe
once we
we'll
blast
never
past
know.
130. We'll be like, oh, whatever. It was just a boring time. But they were playing the game. They've been playing the game. That's what they do.
All right. So we got the White House Crypto Summit on the 7th, the 10th through the 14th. We got the Senate Banking Committee. It's going to vote on stablecoin bill. And then the 21st, the SEC holds its first, Jesus, a crypto roundtable. Sorry.
A little round
Totally
table
blank
there.
on it.
Bring it.
So March is full of like a lot of like crypto uh Capitol Hill stuff going on. Hopefully this will get some things moving, get us going in the right direction. More green than red. Again, if you bought in the summer, you're up. So no complaints. If you've been buying prior to election, you are up. If you bought during this giant dip, you should be up. So we can't complain too much. Moving on. Whew. Holy shit.
A lot
Crypto
going on.
news. Yeah, a lot of, I mean, it's nonstop. Nonstop.
It's
All
too
right.
much.
Corey, give these folks some game.
Quit being a bunch of pussies. Just stay calm. I know it easier said than done, but it's all right. Just keep the long-term visual. At this point, you should just be like looking at it like I'm not selling my crypto until 2030. And if you have that mindset, you're almost guaranteed to win. Almost, but
Absolutely.
so the longer your time frame, the better off you are. I think we all just have suffer from like short-term attention span from our way our society works, and we're used to instant gratification. So when things don't go in the time frame that we think, then you end up being let down. So and I can speak for myself too, like just don't be so again like hard pressed on certain things. Like just know now if things were working against us in the sense of like regulation and adoption and all that, I would be more bearish. But the fact that it's not doing that, who cares what the price? Like, okay,
It's nothing but bull news.
if you just listen to all the news, you would think, "Oh my God, we're going to $500,000," and you'd be going crazy. And then you look
Yeah.
at the chart and you're like, like, all right, we're all over the place. So that they don't correlate. They don't correlate. I've said it many times. Like news does not reflect the price. I don't care how bullish or how good it sounds. It doesn't reflect. Now there are certain times that make it move, but again, I like when he came out the first time. The first time he said there was going to be a crypto reserve, we dropped. Wasn't until he took to Twitter, and you know who's on Twitter? The crypto degens, and they're on crypto, and the crypto Twitter is was raving over that tweet. So I'm sure they all went and bought a bunch of crypto right then and there. Like, oh yeah, it's coming out. And then we had this summit thing announced, so everybody's getting excited about this, which you should be. But again, just stay calm, chive on.
Whoa, throwback. Jesus. All right. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that Arizona's Strategic Digital Asset Reserve Bill passed the Senate's third reading, is now advancing to the House. The last step that it needs to potentially be the first state to start enacting it. Woohoo!
Hopefully they
Texas has
don't
a
gun it down with the rest of them.
well, I don't know yet.
So I said, hopefully they don't. We'll see.
Texas is very close as well. They have the intent to do some readings. It's out there, so they just need to schedule it at this point. That's the update on the states. All right. Nathan, hit me with your coins this week, big boss.
It's tough. Fighting for number one, it's tough. But we're gonna put H bar, Ondo, V chain, Chronos, and XRP.
Whoa! Chronos coming in hot on number 4.
Big sleeper. He was getting the Ondo messages, but he wasn't getting the Chronos messages, ladies and gentlemen.
Sheesh. Wow, wow. All right. Well, that concludes. No, I'm just kidding. Corey, go ahead.
Fuck off.
Bitcoin,
Bitcoin.
uh, Cardano, Stellar, um, who
Stellar
else?
moved nice. Stellar's been moving nice.
I'm gonna keep saying it until she wakes up. Ethereum. Boy, she's at a discount. Boy, you could get Ethereum 2000. You can get you a whole Ethereum. You might not be able to get your whole Bitcoin, but you can get a whole Ethereum.
I'm about to go buy Ethereum right
You go
now.
get a whole Ethereum. I mean, hey, if you're big on this whole administration and what they're doing, World Liberty, they're deep into Ethereum. So I don't know. I just feel like don't sleep on it. And then once Ethereum wakes up, a lot of the L2s underneath it is going to see action too. So things like Polygon or some of the games like Engine or not games, but the projects that develop games like Engine and Gala and Decentraland and Sandbox, they'll see some action. That and then Fetch AI. I'm gonna throw that one out there too.
Fetch AI.
Yeah,
Whoa.
they had the longest, stupidest name in crypto, Artificial Super Intelligence Alliance, but they're short for Fetch AI. So
Okay.
it's an AI play.
Yeah, yeah. Nice. Well done. I like it. A little change up this week with the top fives.
And one bonus one, go buy you some Cosmos. Y'all sleep on Cosmos. When the bear market hits, you can just stake that thing away for 20%. That right there is a reason to go buy it. and they're like they're a sleeper chain. They're the interoperability of cross, what do they call that? Chain transactions. They're like a oracle in a sense, kind of like a chain link. I'm done.
Done. Yeah,
Man, I'm
that's
glad I didn't.
Corey's 31 coins for the week, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm glad I didn't put a timer on that. Gee,
I'll have
blew that
100
timer
next
out the
week.
water. All right. Well, y'all know what time it is. Whiskey time. Henry McKenna, bottled and bond, 100 proof, $50 by Heaven Hill Distillery. It's a 10-year. I set it over here and didn't even get a pour. Ooh. All right. It's a single barrel, which Henry McKenna is probably the most like I have bottles that I will not drink ever again because it's that bad of a single barrel. And I got others that are pretty decent. Anyways, nose, I got vanilla. I got a little bit of oak and some cinnamon on the nose. Very light mouthfeel. Caramel, vanilla show up again on the palate, and then on the finish, I kind of get a little bit of like leather, and it finishes with kind of like a weird like rye-ish type of finish to this, and some honey. Good stuff for $50 if you can find it. Semi-allocated. It's starting to show up on the shelves pretty regularly now. So if you get a good one, great. If you don't get a good one, I'd say try it again, revisit it. Like I said, single barrel, it varies, very widely varies. But anyways, cheers, friends. And we're gonna get into the next segment here. Y'all already know what time it is. Big Nate Dog about to step on the scene and step on some toes because that's what he does. What's happening?
I'm trying to do a lot less of that. Where would you like to start, sir? It's a
Oh
lot
my
of
goodness.
news. It's
Yeah.
evolving quick.
Well, we could start with the what happened last night. Cue cards.
Well, that was an embarrassment. I mean, if this is the best we can do from the party of unity and cooperation and moving forward with bipartisanship and blah, 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 however long you want to extend on those talking points and never follow through on any of the actionables, that's fine. But I find it strange that the maximum amount of power that these people hold is just standing there and saying lies after he says everything. It's like you have no legislative backing and you have no receipts to, like, you can't tell me it's a lie when they have the contract in their hand exposing the truth, and then you say it's a lie, and you're just, that's all you have to stand. Like, well, show me, where's the data? Can you prove it? So those things annoy me. And like I said in the group chat, it cracks me up that all these people have been just standing by the wayside while everything's been falling the fuck apart, and then show up 4 years later. I thought Al Green was dead. I forgot he was still in Congress out there in Houston. Like, I mean, it's a joke in my opinion, but trying to
At
A
least
find
lot
he's
of
some.
a
gonna.
lot of them aren't far off of it. I mean, they're a lot of that side of the aisle looks pretty decrepit and old.
Oh, you seen that screenshot I put in there? And
Oh yeah.
that was a oof, boy.
Well, that one lady, yeah, you should go look at her. Speaking about the test dummies and how they're marginalized, and they needed female test dummies in the vehicles for the name of equality. But that's just one example, one little siding point
I didn't know
to talk
test dummies
about.
had a gender.
Yeah, I didn't know either. I thought they just had pressure sensors and they monitored the resistance on impact. But hey, what do I know? What else do we have there? Yeah, it was. I mean, it was sad. Like, you can't clap for anything, stand for anything, even the good points. I mean, regardless of how you feel as a leader, if there's something, we'll just take the sports thing where they're trying to choke point that with legislation. Yet 84% of America agrees with that. That's not a fringe issue that you should probably take hold of and try to die on that hill, because that's exactly what you're going to do. Same, you can go down the list and rifle
Yeah.
through them. Same
I,
thing
I
with
I just found
Hakeem
it like
Jeffries and them.
I found it mostly disturbing on like, right, wrong, or indifferent, like whether he's using it as a platform, which it really doesn't fucking matter because it is his platform at those hearings, or what are they calling that thing last night? His address, his congressional address. Uh
Which I know we haven't seen in a long time, folks, but that's how this actually should work.
yeah. But like the Riley, what's her name? Riley Lakin, that deal, the DJ
Lake and Riley,
Lakin Riley. Okay.
but Lake and Riley was not there. You're talking about, oh my God, I don't remember the
Look,
young girl's name, but she was a volleyball player. Lake and Riley's deceased.
yes,
R.I.P.
yeah, that's it. And then the DJ, but that's what I'm saying. Like in the name of humanity, who they scream about, they can't even show a single ounce of joy for. Like the kid who got honorably,
Deputized in the Secret Service. Yeah, I mean, you're
yeah,
talking
like
about
that was a touching moment for that kid to be like that. Let's like take away politics to honor a kid like that. Like you see that in a sports game where a high figure, Pat Mahomes, comes up in the stands and gives a kid a ball. People around him are juiced for this kid, right? I don't think one person in that sports arena would be like, fuck that kid. But that's just the genuine sense that you got when you're watching it last night. You're like, man, these motherfuckers really, like, either they have no heart or they are just like, they're
well,
dying on this hill. And that shit is disgraceful.
it's politics over humanity.
Yeah.
You can't give in at all, because if you give in, then everybody you're busted, right? Like you're fighting a never ending war against yourself, because all you're doing is tripling down, quadrupling down on the things that you've said, and like you have to do everything within your power, which isn't much other than sitting around with fucking cue cards and to make it look as such. Like
What a disgrace that was. Jesus.
you can't ever agree, because then it looks like you're bending the knee to this so-called dictator or whatever, this regime, this authoritarianism that you've spoke about. But like I said in the chat, you just got to let it fucking unravel how it unravels, because no matter what they do, it just, again, this is just going to be another point for them where it's like, wow, we really made ourselves look bad. And now I'm sure that there's some people who will watch those videos and be like, yeah, they did the right thing. But again, to your point, it's a perfect example, even, really, because you're talking about a young marginalized individual, 13 brain surgeries, cancer, all these things, and you still can't stand up and be like, oh, good job, Donald. You made his dreams come true today.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't even
You
have to stand up and clap for Trump. You just can acknowledge
but
that the kid up there,
That's what I'm saying.
that's
You just turn to the
his
kid.
little
You're
recognition.
not,
Yeah.
but
you don't, you're acknowledging the situation that's going on.
but that's the meta point. It's like, it's not what's going on, it's who's doing it. It's the same thing with the Elons. It's the scapegoating. The things they were saying about Trump, the things that were being portrayed in the media, they couldn't get it to stick, so they switched focus, and they found, again, you're just looking for somebody. They look for trigger points in the community, emotional trigger points. Like, there's literally people out here that think the world's going to end for most of the planet because USAID is going to become, no longer an organization, or we're just not going to fund these NGOs, which is a joke in and of itself. But I don't know. You got to step back and look at the data. What's the data say?
Yeah. Well, I got fired up early this morning and I realized I needed to, well, I didn't realize it took Nate to calm me down around lunchtime, but uh, just the respect of the position and the traditions and customs that you do for the said um, hearings or addresses. When he comes in initially, whether you like him or not, you go through the motion. I mean, if you go back and look at the previous ones, you see that both sides of the aisle stand up when the president enters, despite what their policies are. It's just part of the customs and the traditions, right? It's respecting the position. It's the same thing in the military when you don't have to like your CO, but you have to do things when he comes around, right? Yeah, you don't fuck this guy. I don't agree with his policies. Can't do that. Just I don't know. It pissed me off to see that. Now I turned it off pretty early because I was like these were the cue cards and then uh Mr. Green. I was like, this is a shit show. I can't watch this right now. It's pissed me off more than anything. And I thought the cue cards was funny because just a couple days ago they were doing this. They're running their new thing that they're running, and they had like 22 Democrats reading off the same teleprompter, the same exact thing. And I was like, you guys can't figure out why you lost the damn election. It's because you can't get out of your own damn way and your own ego. Sorry. Nate, you got it back. Take it off.
There's nothing. Hey, it's all good. It is what it is. I mean, it's just like I
Fucking
said, to
grinds my
me, it's
gears.
just sad, but people can get worked up about it or not. It's their maximum influence is sitting around doing nothing. So no surprise there. What else do we got?
Complaining.
Reciprocating tariffs coming in
Hot
again.
tariffs
Few
hit today.
today. So you can look at things too, because we'll talk about manipulation. But how did these terrorists manipulate things 3 weeks ago? You heard it even. I've heard it on some of the mainstream media things. It's like, well, the tariffs have done this to that. It's like they haven't even enacted. Like, well, what are we talking about? It's the same thing when they did the Mexico one. It's like, well, the tariffs are going to crash the country. Well, by the morning, the conversation had already been had, and they came to an extension, minor agreement, and we'll move forward. So it's easy to speculate now, but it's hard to be accurate because the information is moving so fast.
I got one for you.
What, your girl Pam Bondi and her
No, no,
Epstein
no, no,
flop?
no. Friday, your boy came into the Oval Office. What was your thoughts on that? And by
Which
your boy, I mean Mr. Zelensky.
I mean, he was running his script that he's been running with the Democrat Party, and it didn't work. And after a certain amount of time, it fell apart for him. I mean, one thing you're not going to tell the United States, and definitely not with that man at the helm, is how we're going to feel and how we should be acting and what we should be doing. Especially when, like I said in the thing, you come in here with open hands and closed arms at the same time. Like that don't make no sense to me. So you knew the script. He told you exactly what it was. You knew what it was months leading to that meeting. We want peace, XYZ, and now you're talking about more money, possible troops, all these other things. But that's in continuation. So there's no final note on that yet. We'll see. I do find it funny that for some reason, again, you got to look at the picture because it's being painted like, well, Trump went and talked to Putin now. Well, who the fuck do you talk if me, you, and Corey go out to the bar right now and somebody just starts unloading on me, are you gonna have a conversation with the person that's dumping on me, or are you gonna look at me on the ground get my ass whooped and not say nothing and just go that way? You know what I mean? Like how
Yeah,
are
yeah.
you not gonna talk to the aggressor, the biggest force in that fight in some capacity? So again, it's just a joke. I'm sure it'll
How
be Russiagate 2.0 and
how are you going to negotiate peace if you don't speak to both parties?
Correct.
That doesn't work. Like, I don't know.
And
Yeah.
it's hilarious because the another narrative that's drummed up is uh if if we are trying to get peace now again we're trying to get in bed with Russia, and it's like to some effect we need to get in bed with them, right, to keep the world peace going. Everybody claims they want peace, but they don't want like certain actions to take place. I it's like keep your enemies close, right?
Yeah,
That's ultimately what we need to. And he's no matter what, he's not going to be able to come out with him being president. He's not going to be able to come out of peace talks without well, he's Putin's puppet. It's no matter what happens, he's not going to be able to get away from that. He can solve, like he said last night, I could solve the world's problems. I can find a cure for cancer, and these people still won't stand and clap. They will not be happy.
that's fine. You don't need them to.
Well,
Like
no, but you know,
but
it's
no, it's that's a kind of reoccurring theme of things. Like I feel like people just need to stop trying to convince the other side, so to speak, whatever that is, whether it's crypto or politics, about why they're right and all that. It's wasted energy. Basically, if they're ever gonna, same could be in said in religion and spirituality too. Like you're trying to convince somebody that God is real. You can't do that. They have to find that on themselves. So whether they wake up and hear that or look into it and educate themselves on whatever that may be, that's what's gonna change transition them. Not you up there arguing people that only pushes them away, and then they're only going to look for things that reinforce their current belief. They're not going to be as open-minded when somebody's like kind of pushing it on them in a sense. Kind of
for
just got
sure.
to find it on your own. So again, it's wasted energy. So quit wasting your time. Who cares? At this point, it's that's why I said, now's the time just to sit back, let shit unfold, just be quiet, and when and in 2, 3 years, then you can be like, well, look where we
T-
are now
Told you so.
because of this, and this
Yeah,
when you were so against it. But uh, yeah, people are just again, like I said it. That's all I kept thinking in my mind. Like this is like political theater. Like it's crazy, and you got this guy up there. I'll get kicked out, and we don't even know what you said. At least if you're gonna yell something and wave your cane around, make sure your voice hits the microphone so we can hear you say at least a fuck you or something. Like you're just up there pointing
yeah,
your cane around. Sit
yeah.
down, sir.
Lies,
You,
lies,
you,
lies.
Well,
you
to
look
bring it,
senile.
I mean, again, like when you look at both sides of the aisle, there's a lot more fresh faces on the right side than the left. I guess Trump's left.
I know what you mean, though.
Yeah, yeah. On the Republican side than the Democrat side. So it, regardless, it needs to overhaul. Term limits need to come into place, which hopefully maybe soon there's be some executive order on that. It'd be nice. Tying back into the Zelensky deal, Cash Patel said he's gonna find out where that damn money went, and I'm all about it. Come on with it, Mr. Patel. Figure it out in line with FBI stuff. Pam Bondi and the Epstein files. The boys, well, Nate definitely reviewed it. I think Corey did a little review of it.
Well,
Little
it just pissed me off.
underwhelming.
Yeah, it just pissed me off how they did. I didn't after that. I really didn't look too deep into it because I feel like it's already been tainted.
Well, they just don't have. She didn't have all the documents, and Cash called her and told her that. He said, "Oh no, I've seen them." But the thing that pissed me off about it was the again we talk about it the political theater. They handing out fucking binders in the room there. They're waving them around like, oh,
Yeah,
we got it, and it's like same old flight logs with no incriminating evidence.
Yeah.
It's like the things we're looking for is because you can go look at the evidence list. There's terabytes on terabytes of recordings. Like well, that's the information. I mean, most people we probably don't actually want to see it, but that's what people want to be released.
Man, drop the cold hard truth on them. Quit holding it back. It is time. We are in the age of enlightenment and information age. Come on, drop it on their head. We need to be able to make our own decision. That's why I said they should have just put it on a PDF file, and dropped it right on the whitehouse.org. That way you can go read it for yourself and have your come up with your own conclusion. Same thing with the RFK or RFK, the JFK files and all that stuff. Like we're past due now. Where is that at? I need to see that. They need to drop that too.
Let it
Way
all
past
out.
that. Yeah. Let it sing from the rafters, baby.
Yeah, they're not looking good. Stephen A. Smith is leading the polls for 2028 Democrat leader. He's not even running. He's made it
That's
very clear
wild.
he didn't want to. He's even beating Kamala Harris.
God almighty. I thought she
Uh,
was gone.
He stopped by The View and delivered some cold hard truths to their unapologetic, witched fucking agenda that they have over there. It
haven't
was
heard a word out of her other than that one video of her talking about you can smell the smoke in the air. Well, no shit. You ever been in a campfire?
these people are fucked.
What can you smell in the air? Burnt wood? Or are you talking about people? Like, really?
I think we'd be in a really bad situation if the vote went the other way right now. But then maybe they feel the exact same about us, right?
They do. Well, that's what I was going to say. That these people are fighting for their lives and their livelihoods, in their opinion, and their NGOs and whoever funds them, whether it's corrupt or not. They think they're fighting the good fight, and there'll never be anything progressive in politics when there's two sides of the aisle, because you're always trying to overwhelm the other one instead of trying to get through that aisle and open that door and actually take care of the people outside that voted for your
Mm.
sorry ass.
Hmm? We need
Absolutely.
uno momento.
What
But
else you got for news, Nate?
Hakeem Jeffries, who's the Democrat minority leader, is now trying to take credit for the deportation efforts and the 94% rating across the border that's happening, which is whatever. You can go out and tell your stories, but I just find it funny that now something that you were completely against, like y'all is trying to take credit for. Again, the playbook just very strange to me, like how they operate. Well, it's actually the Biden administration why the numbers are going down drastically. We enacted these things before the end. It's like, I don't think you enacted anything to go from a fucking 5% success rate to 94% success rate.
Your your sorry, I just got a notification. Your coin is up 23.6%.
Must
Pro.
be on. Oh, geez, no. No memes. I'm done with the memes. Fuck these
Yeah.
memes.
Yeah, no, it's funny, like you said the playbook. It's funny that they're saying that education amongst adults is at a sixth grade reading level and it's at an all-time low. But for the better part of 16 years, we've been under a democratic controlled government. But yet somehow it is 45 and 47's fault that we are fighting a terrible education system, and it's now all just it's just a finger getting pointed at him, and it's hilarious because you guys have you guys the Democrats have had the control for so long that and now they're just switching up the playbook saying no 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 no, and then it's hilarious because on their own network now they're saying that the approval rating is well above 50%. So I don't know what percent they're speaking to and what again, I think they keep backing themselves into these corners and shooting themselves in the foot with these ridiculous things that they're saying. It's time to come together. It's time to figure the shit out. It's time to learn just loosen the belt on this fat ass government. I mean, we gotta figure it out. It's too bloated right now. We gotta figure it out. And some things you're not gonna love. You don't have to love it, but we can come to grips and we can make a decision together without all that fucking noise.
A lot of finger pointing. A lot
It's
of finger
yeah, I
pointing.
mean it's always been a finger pointing show, but it's just what can we what I think we need to get rid of those really old heads that are in there that are
I agree with that. I think that is the major issue is the outdated politicians, these old decrepit people sitting up there making choices. I regardless of even what party they're affiliated, I just feel like maybe just a fresh group of minds in there current that kind of understand where the current society is. Because I don't really believe that they do. And if they do, no, they're literally doing everything in their power to work against it, you
hmm
know, and what people actually want. So it's never understood why it's like politics always goes against what people want. They give you all the promises of what they'll do, but when it really, when it comes time, we're always left empty-handed and in a worse position ever. It's like they're really trying to drive you off the cliff. So, uh, but yeah, again, it's just a lot of finger point. The schooling system, like, I mean, the schooling system has been on a down in a downtrend since like the 50s. Like, I think the 50s is where we peaked, and we've just been progressively getting worse.
yeah, yeah.
I think Nate has brought that up about the, education
Department
system
of
in the 70s.
Education. Yep.
Yep.
Since
So,
its inception, it's gone. What it's been working towards has been a straight negative.
and
Yet the
whether
funding
that's
just keeps expanding.
Republican or Democrat, it's just getting worse. So, again, I don't think that is a political problem. That is a educational problem. We need to get our smart people together and come up with a new education system, or look to other countries that are actually more successful and take note in what they're doing and try to implement things here. I mean,
Or
shoot.
or on a foundational level, do like Vivek Ramaswamy is talking about. And if you pay teachers based off of their merit, it makes them want to teach. It makes them want to deliver rather and take out this this well, Jesus, what do they call that? This lesson, these lessons plan, the lesson plan that teaches for a test and teach for the individual.
Yeah, because their current system holds them to a curriculum that they have to teach
Curriculum is the word I was looking
X,
for.
Y, Z, which then puts everything in a box in a very narrow way of learning.
Well,
I
there's no, yeah,
remember,
there's no like extrapolation on a child's mind at that point. It's just like, how do I pass this test? How do I pass this test? I just need to learn what PEMDAS is, and I can pass the test. Sorry, my dogs are going ham under the table here.
we can't hear them, but they even give them guidelines on how to teach. Because I've had countless teachers in the past. Oh, I would like to teach you guys this way, but the school board wants me
Yeah,
to
yeah.
teach you like this, and that's so stupid because it's not a, especially learning is not a one size fits all for everybody. So,
hmm
couple kids in the class might catch it like that, but probably 70% of the room is still left like, huh? You know?
Yeah, yeah.
So again, it's the curriculum. I've kind of brought this up to modern the academia and the curriculum needs a refresh, hit the refresh button. Again, even for me, like we didn't learn cursive writing. I remember our teacher in fifth grade. She's like, "Oh, we were gonna teach you cursive, but now the school board came down and we need to prepare you for a test, the FCAT. So no cursive for you." I think
God,
that
I
made us
remember that.
all a little bit
Get an F cat.
stupider because I don't know how to write cursive to this day. I know how to write my name, and stuff like that. But so if you don't know how to write cursive, good luck. You hand me a sheet of paper that somebody wrote in cursive. I'm over here like, huh? Picking
What?
out.
For real?
Oh yeah,
We
because
about to hold some sessions.
that's what I'm
For
saying.
what?
It's crazy. We didn't
That's the
learn
problem
that.
with the school system now. It's a useless skill. They pump you full of useless bullshit.
Shit that they
I
want you to
mean,
memorize that you'll forget in a couple years.
I like cursive because, well, I mean, we're going on a side quest here, but I like cursive because it just flows on the pencil, right? You can flow with it. It's quick. I can do it. It all connects, right? And then on a on a grown man level, you write a little love note to your girl. Woo! Put it in
Yeah,
cursive.
exactly,
Stop
exactly.
it. I'm telling you, it's like holy shit.
It's a game changer.
Yeah.
Oh, I
It's
mean, you
that's
look at
just a
those
little
letters.
attribute, right?
You look at those letters that they wrote back in the day. Like the writing just looked way nicer in cursive. So again, I feel like they're moving us backwards in our education than moving us forward.
Oh my God, my favorite line in school was, "You're not always going to have a calculator on you." Bitch, what? What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Little did you know.
Yeah. Shit, even in college, you ain't gonna have a calculator on you. I'm like, you damn right I ain't, but I'm gonna have a damn software that it's gonna figure it out because it's gonna take the human error out of it. Duh.
Your Apple Watch has a calculator. Hold on.
Yeah, well, I mean, but like, talk about like hydraulics and shit like
Uh,
that. I'm like, I got software for that. I don't need to use an entire sheet of paper to calculate and introduce a human error into this thing. No, thank you. Let me plug that formula into the computer, bam, bam, and it's going to spit it out in seconds, milliseconds. Anyway, side quest over. Any other news? We got any other news we want to talk about before we wrap this thing up?
I don't have any much else for you people. I'm sure they'll be developing stories tomorrow. Right now. Signing
Yeah,
EOs at the fucking golf
hit
course.
hit him with the quote,
Which one?
the one that you put in the short.
and stop at green lights.
You don't
No, no,
stop
no,
at green
no, no.
lights.
That was
No,
old.
don't
Don't
shake
break
us.
out, shake out,
Uh,
or you're
They
don't shake out, break out.
can give them bad advice, Corey.
I inverted it
Time in the market beats timing the market. So
for
get
sure.
in and stay in.
All right, Corey, any parting words?
No, that pretty much sums it up right there. You know,
Beautiful.
ignore the volatility.
All
Take
right.
advantage of the volatility.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a quick story here. When the market was moving on Sunday, I messaged Nate. He said, "Motherfucker, man, I'm working. I was hoping a few more hours, and I would have fucking dumped some more money in. It's already shooting up. Well, you got it back, baby. He bought back in. He's good to go. Not putting his business out there, but
You
it
definitely
came
put
back.
my business out there.
Nah, I mean, but I'm saying like he was upset. He was upset because it went up, and he was wanting to take advantage of the low point. And that's what we preach about all the time. And man lives by his word. I mean,
He's a
I'm
whale, folks. He's a
yeah.
whale. You won't see him in 2030. It'll be
You
2DS.
ain't gonna see me in 2027 for about this thing.
He just needs Ando to go like 3 more cents. And he's out of here.
Fuck. Now you just selling
Oh
pipe
man.
dreams.
Yeah, no, I'm just fucking around. All right. Well, that's the show. It was a doozy. We got big stuff happening on Friday. Stick around, stay tuned, like, subscribe. Appreciate y'all. We'll be back in this motherfucker next Wednesday. Peace.